Did you happen to have your property surveyed? Do you know where the corners are?
No, we're using fence rows as our guide.
Because I mean, theoretically, there's supposed to be streets platted north and south there toward the east end, on the east side of Shelton, on the east side of Renzi's. But I'm sure they're not. They're probably overgrowing the trees and there'd be no room there to turn around easily, but on the area. Well, we'll work with Shelps and
maybe Winkleman, you know, see if he'd let us turn around his property.
That's pretty much once you get to his property,
very narrow.
Wooded area.
You get to John's Valley, you probably got
Yeah, I've been down there.
15-foot maximum right in.
Is this going to be called Mary Street again, or yet, or are we going to make it the county road? We got a problem here because of 911.
Well,
right now, Winkleman's using the blacktop as his address, so his mailing address is up here. So if you get a 911 call, where are we going?
Can they handle that? Like we have multiple, I'm going to pick a situation, Reese Johnson, south of Yorkville, several wrong places use the same common driveway to get to them. They both have separate 911 signs out of the pavement.
well, I think the problem here, and I didn't get involved in this till the decision, I guess, had already been made by Chuck that they were going to call it Mary Street. Because I called him and was concerned about it being called Mary Street. But to me, it doesn't fit in with the rest of the numbering, naming system that we've used in the rest of the county. So anybody looking for that address on Mary Street, especially since you've got an Auburn post office and Auburn zip code, to me, if they don't know the area, they're going to be looking in Auburn for that
address.
For that address. My understanding from Chuck was that there was not enough numbers left in the sequence to give Shelps a number because there wasn't enough numbers left in the sequence somehow. I guess I'm not sure.
It means they're using 4 digits.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else is addressed down there, what other addresses there are, but with 4 digits, they ran out of room supposedly to add another number for Shelps. And so that's when the talk was to call it Mary Street, because that's what it was in the original. I assume that's because it was that in the original planning of the town. But again, if I would have had input, I would have suggested calling it, I mean, I don't know, most of ours, you know, like north and south there, like 365th down here, you know. So it would be about, I think it would almost be in line with 360th, I think.
So, is the E911 and Chuck working this out? Or, I mean, do they have a responsibility to at least explain to the comm center what the situation is? Because you don't want to have that discussion after you got a problem.
I think we'd be better off to name it a county road, or, you know, something that, so they don't have an Auburn address.
Can I interject?
Sure.
I did call the dispatchers last week after Ron and I talked, because we do have a concern with emergency services, and the dispatcher didn't know anything about it, but she was confident that, you know, enough of the Auburn Fire Department members could find it, you know, and then via radio help any ambulance drivers find it if something happens. But she was going to make a note and to leave with other dispatchers, you know, regarding the situation. But she said really what she needs is a memo from either Chuck or Jack on the 911 board, so they can get it on their record somehow. I don't know what.
But we didn't know what to do when we had our last meeting, so it's kind of confusing.
It's such a gray area, and then we want to also thank you for getting the street sign out. That's going to help also. But are we going to get one of those little signs with the numbers like right in front of our acreage that identifies it the 260 if we're gonna.
Chuck put them together?
260.
Yes.
He's got the blade.
Your resident marker, Chuck takes
Yeah,
care of
Chuck
it.
does that.
But I agree, for simplicity, I think instead of Mary Street, call it 373rd Street or something like that, you know, that would,
Makes sense.
and then, you know, then you can assign on an east-west basis, you know, a sequential address.
Well, like I said, I speak from experience, that, well, you better have somewhere you can get to, because when I was working with the state, and you get some of those addresses out here in the country, you'd be driving around sections sometimes looking for an accident or something bad, and nobody really knew or trying to tell you what to do when you're out there. We need some signs or something that anybody can drive up there. They have that address and can drive to it.
I mean, the next street south is about on the township line. So I think as far as location would go, that would be 360th Street if it ever got addressed, because 360th would of course go on across the county. So something north of there you'd call like 359th, or I mean, since it is right there close.
That makes sense to
The
me.
road that goes to the park down there is 365th. I mean, most of the time the ones that are half mile they call a 5th.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, but again, that's, you know, that decision is nothing that I deal with. That's basically Chuck's and the 911 boards to, I mean, I guess, you know, no matter what you name it, you're still going to have to realize that it comes off of Xavier.
Right.
But at least you, when you went by 365th, you know, if you're looking for 359th, you got to continue north.
Right, that you'd be driving and looking for.
And it wouldn't be confusing, that it would appear, I mean, if anybody looked at that address on a piece of paper, you'd think it was in Auburn. Except I guess Auburn probably only has 3 numbers, like 301, 312.
They're either numerical or they're the names of trees.
But I mean, even
All the
even
streets.
the house.
So Mary, yeah, anybody who knows Auburn, Mary Street's like what? Because yeah, it's either a tree or a number.
But the house numbers are only like 3 digits too, aren't they?
Right.
Yes. Where this has got a 4-digit number, which should clue you that it's not in town too.
Yeah, but then under times of distress, it's better to be very obvious and have to try and think those things through when you're under pressure. But that again is the 911 boards
Yeah.
deal to figure out.
Well, it is what it is. We got to know what street we're, or what we're, whether it's going to be a street or is it going to be part of a county road, or we'll even give them the address.
Don't you get to make that choice?
I don't believe so.
Well,
Where is it?
I mean, I think legally it's probably since it was a platted street, I guess you'd have to go back and, you know, whether you could ever find any records that what streets were accepted into the system, or whether everything that platted was assumed a street. You know, I think it's legally a street. It's just never been developed as a street. But you've got, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. At least 5 landowners that don't have access except for off of that road. So, I mean, in a sense, it's not inside the incorporated system. To me, it would be called a road. I mean, it'd be a county road. It's not a city street because there's no city.
Right.
But I mean, I know 911 is like around Twin Lakes. I know they've got private drives that have got 911 address signs on them, and they're just because they have a 911 street address or street name does not mean it's a county road either. I mean, there are private roads that are named. There's several of them around Twin Lakes. One's Whistle Pig Lane, and I can't remember what the other one, a couple of the other ones are. But
Well, The thing is, if we put a county number on their residence, then it's gonna be like county, because in the town, you're, like I'm 106th Street. You would be maybe 305 Mary Street. You see where I'm coming from?
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you know, what the 911 system wants to name it, I guess I mean, I can get off of my opinion, but beyond that, I can't say, you know, we aren't gonna name it, or we aren't gonna put the sign up for what you call it. I mean, right now, we put a Mary sign up because that's what Chuck had decided, so I guess until Chuck or the 911 board.
Has Winkleman ever voiced anything, because he's got his address on it?
No, I've never, and I didn't know whether his address is gonna change. I assume it would change now that,
That's what we were wondering too at our meeting.
I mean, if he's back on the end of that, to me, his address should be off whatever that street is called, not off of Xavier.
Yeah.
Where, does he have a post office or a mailbox? Where is it at? Clear out on Xavier? Clear out on Xavier? I mean, I would guess, yeah, I don't know whether you want to move his mailbox or not.
Well, that'll be kind of the post office.
Yeah.
They'll determine.
Because, I mean, post office will let you almost put the mailbox wherever you want it. I mean,
Kind of.
well, as long as it's convenient for them, they'll put it.
Right.
Because like Gerald Kraft had his almost a half mile down the road.
Oh, really?
You ever drive down that road?
That's right, he did.
His mailbox is fairly
I
close.
never
Almost,
noticed that.
it's almost a glass fence. Because where it was such a snow problem, it get knocked off every winter.
So they moved it down.
He just put it clear
I didn't realize that.
down the road. My guess is, since Winkleman's got to get out every morning and during snow removal, you know, we try to get by everybody's place, you know, at least once a day. He'll probably have that plowed out so they can get out long before we get there.
I need to add in one thing, and we don't run trucks on gravel roads to plow snow. So this one would be a, you know, a situation where when the maintainer got there, you know, he would plow it. And
You're going to need a maintainer anyway.
yeah,
Road
the truck, I think we'd just be bound up. It's too big, and we need more room.
And with the maintainer, I don't know what, that can be hard on lawns, but we can't do anything with assault party, get the snow removals.
Well, with no road ditch, it's more than likely going to need a maintainer anyway. The truck just won't move.
It sounds like we've got fences that are encroaching a long ways onto the right of way, so when we push snow back, we'll probably be pushing some fences down too. It's only 4 foot off the edge of the road. Doesn't give us much room to push snow, but it sounds like the fence is not where it needs to be anyhow. But
Does Van Renzi farm?
His pasture right on the north side there,
Okay.
right now.
He might be of mind to, would you guys care to talk to him, and, you know, if that fence could be cut? Maintainer is 30 with a V plow on, you know, it's close to 40 foot long, you know, that's a lot of equipment to get turned around, and just need room. And there's no way in Winkleman's to do anything, you know, birds have got to stop before you ever get to this place. You know, unless that turnaround point would be your driveway, you know, that would be the other option.
How far would you want the fence moved?
If he were of a mind to do something, I'd be more than happy to meet with him, you know, and then we'll just visit on site and make that decision. Even just open the fence up so a guy can back the maintainer into the field or pull into his field in the wintertime would be very, very helpful. And I think he'd be of a mind to allow that to happen.
And he was talking about putting a road through there anyway, so I don't know why you'd have a problem.
Ben was?
He wants to run a road back to the river and build down there.
We still have our gates. Maybe we could just use our gates and